Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Jefferson County Board of Education on Monday, December 2nd. If you'd please join me for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to let you know that we have some wonderful students here tonight. You've probably already noticed in their blue and gold. Jefferson High School FFA just had a wonderful experience. They went off to National Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana, competed there and did some wonderful things. Miss Samantha Fridley, who's the reporter for the group, contacted me probably a month and a half ago asking if they could come and explain to you and tell you about their adventures, what they've learned at National Convention. So we were gracious enough and lucky enough to get them on tonight's agenda. So I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want to take Mr. Green's thunder, but we have both the advisors here, Mr. Jeremy Green, Miss Charity Marsteller. I think Jeremy's going to start out or do most of the talking. So Mr. Jeremy Green, our ag instructor at Jefferson High.
Hi, Mr. Green.
I hope for your all sake I'm not the one doing most of the talking. Thank you again for giving us an opportunity to talk about some of the great accomplishments that our students have had. We are very, very proud of the things that they do and like to voice that as many times as we possibly can. And also want to thank Mr. Soltis for the support that he gives us for our program. And you know, there's definitely a lot that we ask of him on his end to allow us to go on these trips and help us fund the trips and whatnot. So we really appreciate that. And of course, Ms. Fitzgerald as well for the support that she gives our program in school. With that being said, I want to recognize some of these students that are here. I will tell you ahead of time, and Mrs. Marsteller, when she talks to you about the equine judging team, will probably share a couple of other things as well related to the reality that some of our students qualified for national competition as seniors in the spring, and of course have since graduated and are not sitting with us here today because they are sitting in a college, well, I would not like to think of this late in the evening in a college classroom, but nonetheless on a college campus or at a tech school pursuing their education further, and they're not able to be with us this evening. Again, with that said, the first group that I want to recognize is the Environmental and Natural Resources group, and there's two of that team that's here with us. Jenna Daniel is over there hiding if she wants to stand. I'm sorry? You can come over. Jenna Daniel and Emily Marsteller is also with us today. The other two members, Travis Genius, he's in school in Pittsburgh, training to be a gunsmith, and Zach Kelly is an undergrad at Potomac State this year, so they are, again, not with us. This group qualified as a part of the West Virginia Envirothon competition in the spring. They were the highest placing FFA team in that group and thereby earned the opportunity to compete in October at National FFA Convention. Before I tell you how they did, I want to share the dedication and the level of commitment and misery that they had to go through to this contest. So Indianapolis, of course, is a beautiful city, but sometimes not so much in October. In the morning of their competition where they were doing outdoor practicums, mind you, this is an all-day activity. It was about 9-10 hours worth of outdoor events. Temperatures were in the 20s. We had 40-mile-per-hour winds, and at different times throughout the course of the day, it was snowing and raining as well. So they were in absolutely dire conditions. I think the worst thing that they said at the end of the day, through the icicles and things in their mouth, Jenna got in the car and she said, "Mr. Green, it's cold." So they didn't complain. They worked through it, and they did a great job. So the competition involves lots of problem-solving activities and obviously environmental components. They did activities in GPS navigation, soil science, water management, and wildlife management as well. So they addressed a tremendous amount of the natural resources that are a part of our everyday lives. This group finished as a team in the bronze level in the national competition. Jenna was a bronze individual, and Travis and Zach also competing were silver, and then Emily, of course, who was here with us, is finished silver as well. So they did a fantastic job in that competition. Thank you guys very much. And I also want to recognize our dairy cattle evaluation and management team. And I think we're lucky to have all 4 of those individuals sitting over there, so they can come over this way as well. Matt Vickers, Riley Brown, Samantha Fridley, and Andrew Chapman. And this group qualified by winning the state competition in August of this past summer, which is held at the West Virginia State Dairy Show. And this contest involves obviously evaluating dairy cattle, and they're evaluating cows as well as heifers and live animal classes, and then giving reasons and explaining the justification for the evaluation of those physical characteristics and traits to panels of judges. In addition to that, they're performing problem-solving activities. They were given team activities dealing in herd health and herd management of those health issues. So they had to problem solve, basically take on the role as a dairy consultant. You know, you're going to the farm, and the farm is having these challenges as far as bacterial counts in milk or foot issues or overall herd health and management of them. The group that is here, and again, the level of commitment that has to be put into these things is tremendous. And this group is a very young group. There are 3 sophomores standing in front of you and 1 junior. And to win a state competition at that level, and the rigor that you have to put into it to learn everything that you have to and work that hard against the competition that you are in and make it a national competition is incredible. And in addition to that, placing 25th at the national contest as they did when West Virginia is such a small dairy state, and the level that they are competing with around the nation speaks volumes. This group, individually, Matt Vickers placed in the bronze category, and then Riley and Samantha were both silver, and then Andrew placed in gold. So they did, again, very, very well in that competition. And before I turn it over to Mrs. Marsteller to share some of the other groups that we had in national competition, I just wanted to say, for all of you guys, and I'm sure she would say the same thing, that we really appreciate your hard work, and thank you guys for always making it fun. That makes it much, much easier on us and all the hours after school. We really do appreciate it. Thank you all.
Well, I had the privilege of training an equine or horse judging evaluation team. So, guys, come on up here. We're missing some of our team members. In April, at the state competition, they won the state competition. And I didn't get to be there because I had a family emergency and Mr. Green took my place. I didn't get the joy of seeing them win, but I did get the joy of getting to train them to go to national competition. So Jenna Everhart was first individual in the state, and she placed gold at the national level. And I have a little story about Isaac, so we're going to hold him off. There were 2 other members, Dylan Sowers, and he's a graduate, as well as Eliza Treslow, and they're not here tonight because they both had to work. That's what happens when you're an adult, right? And we had another member, Savannah, who was unable to go to nationals with us due to some conflicts at Shepherd and college level. So Isaac, gratefully, he took her place with about a week's notice. He was already going to nationals, but we just threw him in the horse judging contest, and he did quite well, actually. He was a bronze level, and we were really proud. And he does have a little bit of horse knowledge, but we kind of crammed a lot in him in a week. So I was really proud of the team that we had. We've been practicing since August, since school started. You know, every week they put in the time, and like Mr. Green said, really super proud of the amount of work that they put in. And it does make our jobs a lot of fun and a lot easier when you have such willing participants who are willing to put in that time and effort. As a team, they placed 25th, which is a silver ranking, so we're really excited about that. That's about midway, I know, out of 50 states, but hey, we'll take it. So we aren't a big horse state either. What did I miss? Anything else? Yeah, Eliza placed at the silver level, and then Isaac and Dylan both placed at the bronze level. So Jenna was gold. So good job, guys. We had one student who qualified to go to the National Agri-Science, which is a science fair project, obviously centered around agriculture. In order for that to happen, you have to win the state level, and then you have to send your application on to nationals. They only pick the top 12 in the nation. So Emily Marsteller, I'm sure you could figure that who that is. She was chosen to go, and she placed 8th in her environmental natural resource category. I'm gonna mess up the name. The effects of dissolved oxygen on the aquatic plant duckweed is the name of her project. If you want to know more, you can talk to her about that specifically later. But we appreciate like we said, all of their hard work. And thank you guys for always supporting us and for allowing us to go and to spend that time with the kids and allowing them to have that experience. We did have one little tour on the way that I think even the kids who were not equine on the equine team enjoyed, and that was we visited the Rood and Riddle. Is it Riddle or Riddle? Riddle. Yeah, equine hospital in Lexington. Mr. Green set that up, and even all of us were extremely impressed. They were a wonderful hospital to get to go visit. They really gave us the royal treatment. Got to see horses in surgery. I didn't really expect them to allow us to see that, but they have kind of viewing windows. So if you ever get a chance, stop by there. It's really nice, and they're very, very nice people. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you. I want to stress the importance of agriculture. Some people think agriculture is something in the past, but it's not. I mean, you look at the track with the horses there, of course, farming, agritourism. A few years back, we toured Border Patrol, you know, the big facility there in Harper's Ferry. #1 area down there is agriculture. How's that? When you think about it, when you go out of the country, what do they always ask you? You have any plants? You have any seeds? You have any fruits, vegetables? Agriculture. So that's big at the border protection. So agriculture is very important. It's not declining. It's certainly still an important part of our county. So thank you all. Appreciate your time.
I saw that one of you had a camera. Do you want to get a picture of all of them together up here? I know Mr. Fogel would appreciate it. No. They put in their time. They deserve some of ours. Absolutely.
Are we following behind you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
She's done that before.
Yeah. And then just send me a picture.
I'm not a stranger, I just live here.
Everybody say
Thank you. Great job.
Awesome.
Congratulations to all of you. Yes, congratulations.
You're more than welcome to stay or run away. You too.
I would stay for ice cream.
We have ice cream? Oh.
You leave me in charge, that's what happens.
Yeah. No Renaissance program here.
Madam Superintendent, any comments this evening?
No, just keep finding more things to be thankful for. All good.
Approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the regular board minutes held November 12th, 2019, and the special board meeting held November 5th, 2019?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. And Ms. Harner, no citizens' comments this evening? All right, consent agenda.
We do have 3 edits which you can see in there. The first one is simply a correction on a title there at number 2. And then after that, you will see number 29, a leave of absence that was deleted. The procedure that was requiring the leave of absence has been moved, so that individual canceled that leave of absence. It will probably come back, which then led to number 12 on the following one, and because that approval was to serve in the place of the person who had the leave of absence. So those are the only edits.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. All right. No unfinished business. New business. Approval for the naming of the Jefferson High School press box.
I've already been made fun of with my bag. I've got some visuals to pass around.
You hoarding over there? Did you want me to hand these out?
You can just pass them
Or
around.
these a gift for me individually? Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And there's some pictures.
Are these different ones from every year? Is that what we're?
The gray ones are similar.
Okay.
I'd like for you to think about someone that has helped you be successful in your life. I'm Bill Stewart, and I'm the athletic director at Jefferson High School. And tonight I'm here to request the naming of the Jefferson High School baseball press box. And as you think about people who have helped you be successful, I want to talk about 2 people that have helped Jefferson High School baseball be successful. Both of these volunteers have been with Jefferson baseball for many years. They've had different jobs, and their jobs have aided the program and our students in many ways. And believe it or not, they've aided Jefferson County schools in many ways. The first person I'd like to talk about is Ron Kelchner. Now, if you have anything to do with Jefferson High School baseball, you may not know that name, but you may know the name Pappy. And Pappy has been in charge of the baseball field, the maintenance of baseball field, for over a decade. And if you ever want to talk to Pappy, you could probably show up at Jefferson High School sometime in the late morning and the afternoon before practice, or even in the fall, and Pappy will be on the field with some of his crew working on the field. Another person I'd like to talk about is Kathy Witt. Kathy Witt has done the programs that are being passed around. She is called the PR person. She's been in charge of fundraising, public relations, pictures, that whole gamut of information with the baseball team. Pappy and Kathy have helped Jefferson High School baseball be successful. Last spring, Coach Lowry came to me and we were just having a discussion, and he said that he was interested in naming the press box after two people. And I said, okay. And he told me the story about Pappy and Kathy and all they have accomplished. And he asked me if I would support it. And I said, Pappy, I support anyone who volunteers their time and helps us be successful. So we followed the steps. I talked to Ms. Fitzgerald about the naming of the press box. We went to the Jefferson High School Faculty Senate and explained to them Pappy's contributions and Kathy's contributions, and they voted unanimously to move the recommendation on. Our next step was going to the LSIC. I'm not really very good with those acronyms. But anyway, we gave them the history. They voted unanimously. Both groups had two questions. One question was, what's the name of the press box right now? Are we replacing somebody else's name? No, we're not. Right now, it's just called the Jefferson High School Baseball Press Box. The other question is, who's going to pay for it? The baseball boosters will pay for the sign, the recognition sign that goes on the press box, and they will also pay for plaques explaining the reasons or the contributions of Pappy and Kathy. No cost to Jefferson High School. Both of these people have contributed a large amount of time that has saved Jefferson High School Athletic Department and Jefferson County Schools lots of money. They've also made our principal famous. Kathy last year developed a set of playing cards, and one of the stars on the playing cards is our principal, Miss Fitzgerald. So she is now famous, and it is my request that we name the Jefferson High School baseball press box the Kelchner Witt Press Box. Any questions?
I guess I wouldn't have a question. I think I would more a statement. I think it says a lot for John Lowry's character, for a man who has really been the face and the name of baseball at Jefferson for so many years. Everyone knows him in the state and surrounding areas. And for him, and knowing the field doesn't have his name on it, for him to actually come and request that somebody else's name be put on the press box, I think that says a lot about, frankly, him as a person as well. Because I would have thought, my first thought would have been, oh, well, clearly I can tell you what that should be named. But, yeah, I think that says a lot.
I think that's a statement in reflection of why Coach Lowry has had a successful program over the years. And if you don't know, Coach Lowry, when Jefferson High School hires their next baseball coach, that will be the second baseball coach they've had in the history of Jefferson County schools. He's got a son in Loudoun County. And at this point, he will be starting his 47th year as the head baseball coach. Any other questions?
I guess my only question is, it did go through the proper procedures and protocol as far as, it sounds like all of the boxes were checked that needed to be checked in the process of naming something.
As far as we know, Joyce
Yes.
Joyce helped us with that.
Okay.
So, share with me though then, who was in the decision-making as far as it was a recommendation from Coach Lowry?
Yes.
Was there any other input from anyone else or thoughts from anyone else, or just kinda, that's how we kinda got to this place that we're at?
Coach Lowry had a discussion with me and asked me if I would support the recommendation. And I said, yes, but there's steps that we have to go through. And I went to Ms. Fitzgerald and we discussed it. And then we went to the faculty senate. And then the local
LSIC,
instruction
improvement.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I got thrown off earlier on those initials, so I can't think of anything on it right now. And then we sent it over to Joyce, and she reviewed it, and he came here. Was that the next step?
I'm sure baseball boosters were involved in this as well.
Yes. Coach Lowry would not have come to me. His staff supports that. Honestly, at this point, if Kathy or Pappy know anything about it, it's just hearsay. But we have not discussed it with them at all.
The program that she does has gotten national recognition as well. It's
And the
always an outstanding program.
one little, right here. This is a plaque from 2018 that our field was named the Region Field of the Year, and there were 8 regions. And Coach Lowry went to a national convention and was recognized there as one of the 8 finalists for National Field of the Year. And being honored with that was great, and Pappy had a lot to do with that.
Teams are very intimidated when they come to our field.
Yes, and
It's not a bad thing, no.
they have also this past summer, and Isaac, one of the FFA guys, actually was on the crew that worked on that. They replaced the infield turf, and that was a $9,000 project, and Pappy helped with that, and that was financed through the boosters, which Kathy helps raise money with. So
We've done that on several occasions, replaced that, and the boosters have always paid for that.
And if you think about the maintenance contract that we have with the Cougar Stadium field, if it wasn't for Pappy and his crew, we probably would have a similar contract on the baseball field. But we don't, because they do the work. They do the volunteer work for that.
Mr. Sager started that.
Sir?
Mr. Sager started that, Sager Field.
Sager Field, yes, sir.
He did that essentially by himself. He used to take care of it, and it's a lot more involved now than it was with one person. But he set the standard, so to speak, and then these folks have come in and really turned it up.
Right.
So it's something that ought to happen.
With my limited experience with the Jefferson High School baseball program, it's a very well staffed program with volunteers. If you've ever gone out and watched them work on the field prior to the game, they have someone who works on the mound, someone who works around home plate, and Pappy kind of coordinates all this. And a funny story, last year, we were getting ready to play a region game, and about 3 o'clock, it just rained as hard as it could rain. And I thought, there's no way we're gonna play on that field. But I better go out and check anyway. So I walked out there and Pappy and his crew were out there and they were working on it. And I said, any chance that we're gonna play? He said, yeah, we'll probably have it ready. Game's supposed to start at 6. We'll have it ready by 6:30 or so. And I said, Pappy, there's no way. And he said, yeah, we will. So they did, and we played. And it is a pretty, it is a pretty intimidating field for people to come in and see. Those two work very, very hard.
Thank you.
And Kathy's name, if you see it, it is spelled Kathe. That is not a misspelling. So if you see that, I don't think it's misspelled. Anything else? Thank you for this opportunity, and good luck with your decision.
Thank you.
Okay.
So just for clarification on the agenda item, it's the Jefferson High School baseball press box. So is there a motion to approve the naming of the Jefferson High School baseball press box? All right,
Well, I guess
Gary
we
and
know how
Mark.
that works.
All right, any other questions? All in favor? Opposed? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
All right, executive session
Yes, ma'am, we have a personnel matter for executive.
with action.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there a motion to go into executive session for personnel with action?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
I don't know where they went